Well, another dark log. It's November 19th, or Wednesday, 2025. And it's 1:25 roughly in the morning. Weaver Jancy, Roseman, California. You zombie out here. Who also does the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me. Okay. We're not going into the emotional mishmash, we're going into politics. So Trump made the decision a short time ago. Gave permission to Congress. He gave permission to Congress to pass bills concerning about the Epstein files to be released. Of course, a lot of the independents are saying that Trump should have done this a long time ago. He had power and authority altogether, but he kept hemming and hawing and diddle squatting around. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Mentally and physically, I have no clue what's going on with this guy. He did meet with a prince of Saudi Arabia. Probably the same one who killed a guy named Khashoggi years back. And the wife, relatives are still pissed off about it. The administration didn't do anything. And it happened on Trump's first term watch. Red carpet again. Ass kissing. Totally. Every other head of state I know going to the White House before Trump never got the red carpet. Not even met at an Air Force base with a red carpet and nothing happened. You know? Trump's still trying to do the showman routine. I'm a nice guy, but don't piss me off because I don't like disloyalty. But just bribe me a little bit, why don't you? It was purported that one country who he was trying to extort money from, a European country, he got a Swiss clock out of it. A very expensive ornament to be put on his desk. Really dumb. And then at a press conference with the Saudi Arabia prince, he goes after the reporter for asking a question that we actually had an opportunity of asking the Saudi prince. And the prince laughed it off. Thought it was funny. Trump got pissed off at the reporter from ABC News. And just went thermal. This guy really doesn't like to use press unless they're nice to him. And this reporter wasn't nice to Trump, according to the old gas bag. But the thing that really got me crazy yesterday, did I mention about the guy named Joel Webben, Bright Ministries? Yeah. Probably in a previous video. Guy's going off in the mouth. He wants Trump to go after every one of his enemies. He wants to see him stomped. He wants to see him treasoned. They have to be all in treason. They have to be busted for treason. It has to be treason against Trump. Not treason against America. Not treason against the U.S. Constitution. Treason against Trump. And he wants to see this. He thinks it's glorious. He thinks it's fantastic. He's sitting in his well-manicured form and format and looks like a studio or something like that. But I want to see Trump's enemies destroyed. And this is going to help you, how, schmuck? Don't you understand things? The only thing I can understand about assholes like him is either you walk away or you listen to his ass. But he wants attention on his soapbox so he can grift people again and feel like he's the most important people in his own fiefdom. Another egomaniac job. Here's another thing. Somewhere out in the I think Midwest, Great Lakes area, Cincinnati. Coming across a story that kind of really ripped out me. That there are actually hate mongers out there who want hatred spread entirely. They want it. I mean, they want to spread their hatred so damn badly. It's terrifying kids, brainwashing them, where parents are going ape over this. And for 2 days straight, a reporter's trying to get in-depth information about this one schmuck out there. Now, if I find the links again, I'm going to put them on my comments there for you guys to look at. I don't like airing these guys' names. Levin's already a nut job anyway. He's already getting too much negative attention anyway. But this asshole, he really wants it. He's international, apparently. Or he's national. Because he's on the YouTube. He's on the internet. He's trying to pass off his crap like, you have to hate the other guy. You really have to hate the other guy. I am pointing his finger at this guy. Look at this guy, so funny. And then the mouth goes off for every epithet you can think about that's off limit. He's using it. And he's trying to brainwash the kids. It's bad enough when I hear these pastors trying to push political agenda down people's throats saying, you got to bust him for treason. It's treason against the fearless leader. It's the same shit. I don't care if it's differently worded. It's the same damn shit. I heard this shit coming out of Trump's mouth originally in the first term. The second term, he's on full blitzkrieg. He's attacking people left and right. He's already mutated the departments into his own punishment detail. The ICE agents, the border agents, all the federal agents that are supposed to be helping us in many ways are now becoming the worst nightmare we've ever had. To where we have to have citizens arming themselves with video cameras all the time, putting these guys on record, putting these guys live or even on tape and just distributing it everywhere, and blowing whistles at them. And it's bad enough these guys will point guns at people from their cars. If these guys are really trained officers, which I hardly doubt, they wouldn't be doing this shit. If they really supported the Constitution, if they really supported America, the people who voted them in, who pay their paychecks. You know, that's the irony of it. These assholes are getting taxpayer money to torture the taxpayers. Think of it this way. Disney's Robin Hood cartoon. Now, Pat Buttram played this big old buffoon of a sheriff. Now, I don't know what the other side characters, actors' names are. Pat Buttram, I know that name. I know that voice. Played a lot of characters. And he would do anything and everything just to get another farthing or another gold coin out of people. It reminds me of ICE. Reminds me of Trump. I'm surprised he hasn't come out with the next gimmick yet. Because nearly for a full year he's been pushing crap down people's throats. But because he's broken the hearts of MAGA at this point, the independents are laughing and they're having a field day over this shit. Well, you guys voted the son of a bitch in. This is what we got. I kept saying there's supposed to be accountability, transparency, and responsibility. They say that Trump's the most responsible, transparent, and accountable person. Bullshit. He's a con artist. He conned everybody. And because of his threats to a lot of people, including corporates, he's getting away with a hell of a lot of crap. It was a shocker that, and this was a pleasant shocker that may change our voting a great deal on this one. But there was an appellate court that decided concerning about Texas's gerrymandering. They couldn't find any logical, legal, or any other reason to grant Texas the ability to do more gerrymandering, except to say, no, it's racial profiling. You can't do it. Now, granted, it would have given more voting power to the whites and less to the blacks and the Latinos if Trump won. Not in this case. And it was Trump-appointed judges. I think it was from the last term that he was in. And these guys said no. Now, if it happens to go to the Supreme Court's going to have to make a specific or general ruling. Is gerrymandering legal? And if it is, then the state of California cannot be sued because of Prop 50 that people had passed with an overwhelming majority. This is in response to Trump's way of trying to beat the system of getting a third term. You can't do it legally through the Constitution. And the only way I know for them to do it is to add an amendment, and it's a difficult process. Even if they happen to put a bill in, the bill's not going to be enough. They have to make an amendment according to the Constitution, unless they're going to be breaking the law left and right. Will the Senate and House do that? But the lawsuit will continue. Because the Trump government is still trying to find ways to cheat. But because the Texas law changed, and they're not allowed, it's going to have to be bumped up to the Supreme Court level. This was not a state level appeal, this was a federal appeal. If Texas was allowed to gerrymander, California and several other Democratic states would have been going through the same damn process. And they would have been sued left and right. But then the legal system would say, no, you can't do this. So, is it legal to change the redistricting? I mean, is it legal to do redistricting? Yeah. After we get census material to see what the voting's like. See which particular demographics they're looking at. Every 10 years we go through redistricting. Are they staying the same or are they changed? Depending on the voting patterns, depending on how many Democrats, how many Republicans we got, or Trumplicans at this point. How many whites, how many blacks, how many Latinos, how many Native Americans, how many in between? In which particular portion, in which particular area that gets to be redistricted? How are they voting? It's like after 10 years, but not in between. And since we got the midterms coming up, it's going to matter a great deal. Does it stop the guys with the mouth concerning about the hatred and the vitriol? We are talking about the pastors, or so-called pastors out there. And there's a lot of them. So many independents out there who've got an earful. They're keeping track of this stuff. And they're trying to tell people. They're having a conniption fit. If that wasn't bad enough. You know, we did have the government start up again. But because we have an ineffectual Secretary of Agriculture who doesn't know what this person is doing, it's making comments concerning about certain portions of people who are not going to be able to get their SNAP benefits. They have to reapply. Apparently, this particular agricultural secretary is going after the red states first. 42 million people are going to be affected by by affected SNAP cuts. And most of them are coming from reds, not blues. But the reds are going to have to be reapplying with a lot more stringent laws. Actually, rules and regulations. The paperwork's going to be a nightmare. But this is what the Republicans chose. They kept blaming the Democrats when Speaker Johnson all he could have done was just open up the damn place and we'd have funding for SNAP benefits. But because the funding's coming in late, they're not going to qualify. They're not going to qualify, not until next year. And if next year they get any, it's going to be the biggest if ever. The midterms are going to be changing every one of our congresspeople, whether or not they're going to be staying or going. Either we get an upset or else we're going to have the status quo. And if it's the status quo, I'll still blame the voters for being that dumb. We need a change. We need to tell the Trumplicants, you failed in your job to protect the American people. You failed at your job to hold the president accountable. You failed, both Senate and House. There are certain Democratic seats out there that are going to be up for challenge because we felt like they weren't providing enough leadership or action. New York's going to be one of those major changes. I'm not quite sure about California. We may. I hope change it more Democratic instead of Trumplican. Because if we do, hopefully we can get things corrected. It'll take a long time to get the government functioning back the way it should be. But with the current regime and Congress the way it is, I doubt it. Yeah, I'm putting a negative mark on this one, but then again, guys, we voted this shit in, didn't we? So yeah, I put the blame on you guys. That being said,